I adjusted my tie for the 5th time, staring at the restaurant's candlelight reflection on the wine glass. Relax, I whispered to myself. It's just dinner. It's just us. Lily smiled faintly across the table, but something in her eyes felt far away. You look beautiful tonight, I said. Like really beautiful. Thanks, she replied softly, running her fingers along the rim of her glass. You didn't have to do all this, Ethan. Of course I did. 3 years of marriage deserves something special. 3 years, she repeated, almost like the number hurt. I laughed awkwardly. That's supposed to sound happier than it did. She smiled again, but it was thin, trembling. I'm sorry. I'm just distracted. The waiter approached with menus, his smile wide. Happy anniversary to you both. May I start you with wine? Red, please, I said. The one you recommended last time. Lily nodded absently, her gaze drifting toward the entrance. Waiting for someone? I asked, trying to sound playful. No, just checking the time, she said quickly, lowering her eyes. You sure? You've looked at that door 5 times since we sat down. She bit her lip. It's nothing, Ethan. Don't start tonight, okay? Her tone stung more than I expected. Start what? The questions. The worrying. I just want a quiet evening. Quiet? I planned a whole night for you. Reservations, music, the gift. Gift? She asked, her brows lifting faintly. I smiled and reached into my coat pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Don't open it yet, she sighed. You really didn't have to. Yeah, but I wanted to. You've been working late and we barely talk anymore. I thought maybe tonight we could... The restaurant door opened. Lily froze mid-sip. I noticed it instantly. The way her hand trembled, the color draining from her face. I turned my head, following her gaze. A tall man stood at the entrance, confident, composed, scanning the room like he belonged everywhere. Do you know him? I asked. Lily blinked fast, her voice barely audible. That's Daniel. Daniel? My ex. My chest tightened. Your ex. Here, tonight. I didn't know he'd be here. Small world, I muttered, trying to smile, but my throat was dry. He noticed her then. His lips curled into a knowing grin. Lily? She forced a polite smile. Daniel, wow, it's been a while. He walked over, his shoes echoing on the marble. Didn't expect to see you here. Yeah, she said, her voice unsteady. We were just celebrating. His eyes flicked toward me. And you must be the lucky guy. Ethan, I said, shaking his hand. His grip was firm, deliberate. Daniel, he said smoothly. Old friend of Lily's. Old friend, I repeated. Right. He looked at Lily again, the corners of his mouth curving slightly. Happy anniversary, then. You still wear that perfume, huh? Lily's eyes widened. No, I don't. Oh, my mistake, he said, smirking. It's just... Familiar, I stared at her. Perfume. It's nothing, she said quickly. Daniel's just... leaving, I interrupted sharply. Right? He chuckled. Of course. Enjoy your evening. When he walked away, the air between us felt heavier than before. I leaned back, forcing a laugh. So that's the ex you never mentioned much. I told you about him, she said. No, you told me you dated someone years ago, not him. Not the guy who still knows your perfume. She looked down. Ethan, please don't do this. Do what? Ask why your hands are shaking. Why you looked like you saw a ghost. Because I didn't expect to see him? Or to feel something? Her silence said enough. The waiter returned, oblivious to the storm. Would you like to order now? Give us a minute, I muttered. Lily exhaled, trembling. I'm sorry, okay? It just caught me off guard. Yeah, I said. Me too. She looked at me, her eyes soft, pleading. I love you, Ethan. I smiled weakly. Then stopped looking at the door. We didn't speak again for a long time. The wine arrived, rich and red, but it tasted bitter. I handed her the velvet box. Open it, I said quietly. She lifted the lid, revealing the gold necklace with her initials engraved beside mine. Ethan, it's beautiful. Yeah, I whispered. I thought it would remind us what we built. She touched it gently, tears gathering in her eyes. It does. But when she smiled, I saw something behind it, something breaking. And in that moment I knew, our perfect night had just ended before it began. The waiter poured more wine and asked, "Everything all right, sir?" "Perfect," I lied, forcing a smile. "Just perfect." Lily hadn't touched her food. Her eyes kept drifting to where Daniel had gone, like she expected him to come back. I cleared my throat. "You're quiet," she blinked fast. "Sorry, he caught me off guard." "Old flame still burns that bright?" I tried to sound casual, but my voice cracked halfway through. She frowned. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Turn this into something it's not." "You froze when you saw him, Lily." "Because it was unexpected." I leaned back. "Right. Unexpected, not unwanted." Her jaw tightened. "You're being unfair." "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just seeing things I ignored before." She looked away. I said it's nothing. Before I could answer, Daniel's voice slid through the noise. "Did someone say my name?" I turned slowly. There he was again, walking toward us like he owned the room. The smirk, the tailored suit, the casual confidence of a man who knew he'd left an impression that never really faded. Lily forced a laugh. "Daniel, I thought you'd left." "Forgot to congratulate you two properly," he said, his eyes never leaving hers. 3 years, right?" "Yeah," I said sharply. 3 good years." "Must be," he replied. Lily always said she wanted stability. Looks like she found it. The way he said it, stability, like it was a consolation prize, made my hand tighten around the glass. "Thanks," I said. "We're happy." "I can see that," he said with a smirk that said the opposite. Lily cleared her throat. "Daniel, this is Ethan, my husband." He extended his hand. "Nice to meet you, Ethan." I shook it. Firm grip, too firm. "You too." "So," he said, sitting down in the empty chair beside our table without asking, "What's new with you, Lily?" Lily blinked. "Daniel, we're kind of, oh, come on." "It's been years. Let's catch up for a minute." I forced a smile. "Sure, we've got all night." Lily gave me a warning glance, but I ignored it. Daniel leaned forward. "Still working at the art studio?" "Yes," she said quickly. "Same place." "Good. You were always talented." "Thank you," she murmured. He looked at me next. "And you, Ethan?" "What do you do?" "I'm in finance." "Ah, numbers man," he said, chuckling. "Reliable type?" "Guess that's one way to put it," he smirked. Lily always said she needed someone steady after me, someone who wouldn't make her life chaotic. My stomach turned. "Guess we all serve our purpose, huh?" The restaurant manager walked by, noticing the tension. "Everything okay here?" "Fine," I said through a smile. Daniel raised his glass. "Couldn't be better. Just reminiscing with old friends." The manager nodded hesitantly and walked away. Lily's voice trembled. "Daniel, maybe you should go." He tilted his head. "Sure, didn't mean to intrude. It was nice seeing you again." "Same," she said softly. He stood, buttoning his jacket. Then he leaned closer, lowering his voice just enough to sting. "You still wear that perfume I bought you?" Time stopped. My pulse pounded in my ears. Lily's hand froze midair. "What?" he smiled. "That jasmine scent. Hard to forget." Her lips parted, but no sound came out. I looked at her. "Is that true?" "Ethan, don't answer me. It's just perfume." "His perfume," Daniel grinned. "Relax, man." "I was just joking." "No," I said quietly. "You weren't," he shrugged. "Believe what you want. Some things don't fade, I guess." "Get out," I said, standing. "Now," he gave a mock salute. "Pleasure meeting you." Then he walked away, whistling softly. Silence fell like dust. Lily whispered, "Ethan, please don't make it worse." "Make what worse? The part where your ex recognizes your perfume, or the part where you couldn't even look at me while he talked? You're twisting it." "I'm seeing it, Lily. Finally seeing it." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't do anything wrong." "Then why does it feel like you did?" The waiter returned, oblivious. "Would you care for dessert?" "No," I said. "Just the bill." As he left, I stared at the empty chair Daniel had occupied. The scent of his cologne still lingered, mixing with Lily's perfume until I couldn't tell where one ended and the other began. Lily reached across the table, voice trembling. "Ethan, I love you." I stared at her hand, the one still trembling. "Then maybe stop smelling like someone else." Neither of us spoke again. The music played softly, but it sounded like static in my head. I watched her wipe her tears, and for the first time, I wasn't sure if they were for me or for him. The shower had been running for 10 minutes. Steam rolled under the bathroom door, muffling the sound of running water. I stared at the ceiling, trying to breathe normally, but my mind wouldn't shut up. Don't think about him. Don't give him that space. Then her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Once, twice, then again. I tried to ignore it, but the glow hit my eyes like a warning light. The name flashing on the screen stopped my breath. Daniel. I froze. My pulse jumped so fast it hurt. The phone buzzed again. I reached for it before my thoughts could stop me. Daniel, it was good seeing you again. You looked beautiful tonight. My throat dried. I stared at the words until they blurred. Then another message popped up. Daniel, I can't stop thinking about how it used to be. I whispered. No, I shouldn't have, but I did. I unlocked it. The password was still my birthday. I almost laughed at the irony. The messages scrolled upward endlessly. Weeks of conversations. Lunch tomorrow? You looked tired lately. Closure is important. You still wear that perfume? I read every line like a knife carving into me. Photos she'd sent, her coffee, her smile, her mirror selfies. Innocent maybe, but not between them, I whispered to the dark. How long, Lily? The bathroom door stayed closed, water still running. I scrolled faster, my hand trembling. Daniel, you deserve better than a man who plays it safe. Lily, don't say that. He's good to me. Daniel, good isn't enough, is it? My jaw locked. I could almost hear her typing those words, sitting beside me on the couch, pretending to text a friend. I scrolled to the top. The first message was from her. Lily, I saw your post. Congratulations on the new office. She reached out first. I dropped the phone on the bed and stepped back like it might explode. The air felt heavy, thick with betrayal. The water stopped. Panic shot through me. I grabbed the phone again, locked it, and placed it exactly where it had been. I lay down quickly, pretending to sleep. The bathroom door opened. I heard her soft footsteps, the faint scent of jasmine mixing with steam. She slid into bed beside me, sighing. Still awake? She whispered. I didn't move. Her hand brushed my arm. You're quiet tonight. I stayed silent. You're not still upset about dinner, are you? I forced a groggy voice. No, just tired. She kissed my shoulder lightly. I love you. The words landed like stones. I swallowed hard. Love you too. But my chest was on fire. She turned away, falling asleep easily like nothing was wrong. I lay there in the dark, watching her breathe. Her face looked peaceful, innocent. I almost believed it, almost. When her breathing deepened, I turned toward the ceiling again. Every message replayed in my head. You looked beautiful tonight. Closure is important. Good isn't enough, I whispered. So that's what I am now, a backup. My voice cracked on the word. I wanted to wake her. To demand the truth. To shout. To break something. To make her feel even a fraction of what I felt. But I didn't. I just lay there memorizing every lie. The ceiling fan spun above me, slow and cruel. The shadows it threw across the room looked like bars, trapping me in the bed beside her. She murmured something in her sleep, soft, unintelligible, but the tone was gentle, almost sweet. For a moment, I hated her for sounding so calm. I turned on my side, facing her back. The moonlight brushed her shoulder, highlighting the necklace I'd given her just hours ago. It gleamed faintly, like it was mocking me. You wear my name, I whispered, but you smell like his memory. The words barely made a sound. She shifted slightly, unaware. Pulling the blanket closer, I wanted to touch her, to shake her awake and ask why, but instead, I whispered into the dark, not tonight. You don't get my pain tonight. I closed my eyes, pretending sleep, but my heart wouldn't rest. Every beat was a reminder. I'd been loving a stranger who still belonged to someone else. By the time dawn began to touch the curtains, I had already made a silent promise to myself. No confrontation, no begging, no scene. If she could lie to me quietly, I could learn to break quietly too. I walked into the office like nothing had changed, shaking hands and smiling at the receptionist. Morning, Ethan, she said. Big meeting today. Yeah, I lied. Client from out of town. Maya popped her head into the doorway, eyes narrowing. You okay? You look tired. I'm fine, I said. Just a lot on my plate. She studied me. You sure? You can talk to me. I know. I gave a small smile and walked past her. At my desk, I pretended to read reports, but my head was full of other things. Lily's laugh from the restaurant kept looping in my mind. The way she'd looked at the door. The way Daniel had said her perfume was familiar. Every image was a splinter under my skin. Maya, I said later when she brought coffee. Can we grab lunch? Her eyebrows lifted. Now? You sound different. I need to get out of here. She caught my hand as I stood. Please don't shut me out, Ethan. I won't, I promised, though I was already shutting more than a little. At a cafe, I told her an edited truth. Lily and I had a weird night, I said. Her ex showed up. Maya's face changed. Daniel? How did you... Everyone knows Daniel. He's loud. Guy's always in the papers. He was there. I watched her closely. He said some things. Like what? He hinted they still talk. Maya's jaw tightened. Did Lily tell you? No, I found messages. Her hand went to her mouth. Ethan, are you serious? Yeah, she squeezed my arm. You have to be careful. Don't do anything crazy. I'm not crazy, I said. I'm smart, quiet. That night I drove to Daniel's building. My heart thundered, but my face stayed calm. I told the guard, I have an appointment with Daniel Cole. He's with a partner, the guard said. Try the 4th floor. In the elevator, I rehearsed what I'd say. Hi, I'm interested in a collaboration. Polite, professional. Nothing personal. Daniel's office looked impressive, but the reception had a quiet edge. I asked for Daniel, and an assistant led me to a meeting room where a man sat reading. He looked up, surprised, and then smiled politely. Can I help you? I'm Ethan Reed, I said. Hear about a marketing proposal. He blinked. We don't have a client by that name. Just a small pitch, I said. 5 minutes, he shrugged. Fine, do your thing. He watched me present, nodding on cue, and afterward he shook my hand. Interesting ideas, he said. We'll pass them along. When he left, I wandered the office. I read framed headlines, Daniel's name, once bold, now faded with words like financial strain and partner dispute. A voice behind me said, Find what you need? I turned. A stocky man in a rumpled suit stood there, hand extended. Howard Thompson. Ethan, I said, shaking it. You work with Daniel? No, he said. I'm his partner. His eyes studied my face. You seem familiar. Just a potential collaborator. He laughed. Most people say that. You here for business or gossip? Business, I lied. We talked a few minutes. He complained about late payments, about how Daniel took risks that left the company exposed. He's brilliant, he admitted, but reckless. Is it true he's recently divorced? I asked casually. Thompson's face softened. Yeah, took a toll on him. This place is on thin ice. Has Lily been around here? I asked, watching his reaction. Thompson blinked. Lily? She visited a few times. They're close. I left the office with more than I'd come for. The truth sat heavy like a stone in my pocket. Back home, I rehearsed my plans out loud, whispering to the walls. No scenes quiet. Maya called that night. How are you? She asked. Better, I lied. I'm fine. You sound different. Maybe I am. That night, I spread photos and printouts like evidence. I labeled them on sticky notes, neat and precise. Timeline, I muttered, writing dates. Messages, meetings, sightings. I looked at Lily's sleeping face later, peaceful and trusting, and felt something cold settle in me. I'm going to fix this, I whispered. Not for show. For us. The next morning I went to work with a steady face. Inside, pieces were moving. I was no longer only hurt. I was planning. I was becoming someone who could make things fall apart without breaking in public. The idea of revenge tasted like relief. I felt dangerous, and it felt right too. Mr. Howard leaned against the doorway of my office, coffee in hand. You've been quiet lately, Ethan. Working on something big? Something important, I said. I just need access to the financial archives for a client report. He frowned. Those are restricted. I know, I said smoothly. Just temporary access, 2 days tops. You trust me, don't you? Howard sighed. You're one of the few I still do. Then it's settled, I said, forcing a smile. As soon as he left, I slipped into the system. The files were cleaner than I expected, until I reached Daniel Cole's folder. Misreporting, falsified invoices, fake investors. The kind of data that could bury a man twice. That night, I called Mr. Thompson from an unknown number. "I have something you'll want to see," I said. "Who is this?" "Someone who knows Daniel's been bleeding your company dry." "Where'd you get that?" "From the same lies he fed you? Check your inbox in an hour." I hung up before he could respond. My hands trembled as I attached the documents. When the files sent, I leaned back and whispered, "Phase 1, done." Lily was in the living room scrolling through her phone. "You're up late," she said. "Work stuff," she smiled faintly. "You've been different lately. Distant. Maybe I'm just seeing things clearly now." She tilted her head. "What does that mean?" "Nothing," I said, kissing her forehead. "Go to bed." The next morning, I left a fake dinner receipt on the counter, Daniel's name printed at the bottom. A second later, I placed an anonymous note in her purse. "He's using you again." By noon, she called me at work. "Ethan, something weird happened." "What's wrong?" "There's this note in my bag, and a receipt from some restaurant Daniel likes." "Did you?" "Why would I have anything to do with him?" I asked gently. "I don't know," she said, voice shaking. "I thought maybe someone's trying to mess with me." "Maybe they are," I said. "Or maybe you're realizing who he really is." She fell silent. "You sound different." "Maybe I'm tired of pretending," I murmured. When I hung up, Maya was standing by my desk. "You're scaring people," she said quietly. I forced a smile. "What people?" "Me, for starters." "You're colder, sharper, whatever you're doing, it's not you." "Maybe it's exactly me," I said. "Maybe I just stopped being naive." "Ethan, listen, revenge doesn't fix betrayal. It just copies it." I met her eyes. Maybe that's a good thing. Later that night, Lily sat on the edge of the bed, scrolling her phone again. "Daniel's been calling," she said softly. "Why?" "He says someone's leaking things from his office, that his partner's threatening to press charges." "Sounds serious." She looked up sharply. "You don't seem surprised." "I'm not the one who kept in touch with him." Her lips parted. "Ethan, you think I don't think," I cut in. "I know what I saw." Tears welled in her eyes. "Those messages meant nothing." I was confused. "Confused people don't hide things for weeks," I said. She turned away, voice breaking. "Why are you doing this?" "Doing what?" "Acting like you don't care." "Because caring got me here." When she left the room, I opened my laptop again. Daniel's company page was on fire, headlines calling him corrupt, Thompson's statement attached with legal threats. I scrolled through the chaos, my chest tightening with something that wasn't satisfaction. "Congratulations," I muttered to myself. "You did it." But the words felt hollow. Maya texted, "You okay?" I typed back, "I think so," then deleted it and wrote almost. The next morning, Howard cornered me by the elevator. "Whatever report you were working on," he said, "it made waves. Mr. Thompson called to thank our firm." I nodded. "Glad it helped." "You sure you're okay, Ethan?" he asked. "You've got that." Haunted look. "I'm fine," I lied. "Just tired." That evening, Lily sat by the window, staring out at the city lights. "Everything's falling apart," she whispered. "Sometimes things need to fall apart before they make sense," I said. She turned toward me, eyes red. "Who are you right now?" I thought for a moment, then smiled faintly. "Someone who finally stopped forgiving," she didn't answer. The silence stretched until it felt like another person in the room. When I finally lay down beside her, her breathing trembled. My mind whispered names, Daniel, Lily, Maya, Howard, each part of the web I'd built. And beneath the triumph, guilt stirred. Soft but relentless. I closed my eyes and said quietly to the dark, "Maybe monsters are just people who love too much." And for the first time, I wasn't sure which one I was. The morning news hit like thunder. Cole Enterprises faces fraud allegations. Leaked emails reveal personal scandal. I sat at the kitchen counter, coffee cooling in my hand, watching Lily scroll through her phone. Her face drained of color. "Ethan," she whispered. "It's everywhere." I sipped my coffee. "What is?" "Daniel, his company's finished. And someone leaked our messages." Her voice cracked. They know about us. I stared at her. Us? She looked up, eyes wide. Please, I didn't mean... You didn't mean to cheat or you didn't mean to get caught? She covered her mouth, trembling. You're scaring me. I'm just asking questions, I said softly. You always hated lies, remember? Tears streamed down her face. Ethan, I swear it wasn't supposed to go this far. But it did. Outside, Mrs. Lee's voice floated from her balcony. Did you hear? That gray woman, Lily, was with that businessman from the news. Another neighbor gasped. Shame. Such a pretty couple, too. Lily slammed the window shut, sobbing. They're talking about me. Oh my God, Ethan, please do something. I looked at her and said quietly, I already did. Her eyes widened. What does that mean? It means actions have consequences. Maybe now you understand what it's like to be humiliated in public. She shook her head in disbelief. You leaked them? I didn't answer. The doorbell rang. She flinched. When I opened it, Daniel Cole stood there, unshaven, frantic, his once perfect suit wrinkled and damp from sweat. You! He shouted. You ruined me! I smiled faintly. I think you did that yourself. Don't play innocent, he spat. The files, the emails, this has your fingerprints all over it. Maybe the universe finally decided to even things out. Lily rushed to the doorway. Daniel, stop! You can't come here. He ignored her. You leaked our emails. Do you have any idea what you've done? She covered her face. I didn't... Oh, don't lie, he snapped. Everyone thinks you betrayed me to save yourself. She looked between us, voice shaking. Daniel, I never... Shut up, he roared. You used me, then threw me to the wolves. Her knees buckled, and I caught her arm before she fell. She pulled away, whispering, Don't touch me. Why? I asked. Afraid I'll stain your perfect image too? Daniel glared at me. You think you won, Gray? You think destroying me fixes what she did to you? I don't need to fix anything, I said calmly. I just stopped pretending I was blind. He laughed bitterly. Then enjoy your broken little wife, Lily screamed. Stop it, both of you. She turned to me, tears streaming. Please, Ethan, make this go away. I can't breathe. People are calling me names online. Homewrecker, liar. I looked into her shaking hands, her red eyes, and felt nothing but a hollow ache. That's what truth feels like, Lily. It burns. Daniel stepped closer, voice low. You think you're better than me, huh? You just had more time to plan your revenge. Maybe, I said, but I didn't have to lie to get there. He smirked. No, you just had to lose your soul. I stared at him and almost laughed. Coming from you, that's poetic. He turned to leave, muttering, You'll regret this. Maybe, I said, but you'll remember it. When the door slammed, Lily collapsed on the floor. Ethan, I'm begging you. I'll do anything. Just help me fix this. Fix what? I asked. The story or your guilt? I made a mistake, she cried. I didn't love him. I was just lonely. You worked late, you barely looked at me. I knelt beside her. So you filled the silence with him. She sobbed harder. I never stopped loving you. Then why did you keep lying? Because I was afraid you'd leave. I almost laughed. And now you're afraid I'll stay. She clutched my sleeve. Please, Ethan, say something. Anything. I looked at her and whispered, I used to think silence was empty. Now I realize it's the only honest thing left between us. Her hand slipped from mine as she whispered, I destroyed everything. No, I said. You just showed me what it really was. The sound of her phone buzzing filled the room, messages, notifications, calls. Every ping felt like a nail in the coffin of what we once were. She threw it across the room and screamed. Outside, Mrs. Lee's voice echoed again. The poor man. His wife's in the papers now. I always said something was off. I closed the curtains. Lily whispered, Do you hate me? I paused. No, I just don't recognize you anymore. She crawled closer, grabbing my hand. Then let me show you. I pulled away. It's too late. For a moment, the world went quiet. Then a car engine roared outside, tires screeching. Daniel's voice shouted something incoherent before fading into the night. Lily stared at the door, shaking. He's gone. What if he does something stupid? I said nothing. The air felt heavy, suffocating. I walked to the kitchen, poured 2 glasses of water, and placed one in front of her. She looked at it like it was poison. Drink, I said. You'll need your strength, she whispered. For what? For everything that comes next. When I looked at her reflection in the dark window, she didn't look like my wife anymore, just a stranger wearing her face. And as the city lights flickered against the glass, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't angry anymore. I was empty. The rain started just after midnight. I sat on the couch staring at the muted TV, the sound of water against the windows filling the silence. Lily walked in slowly, her eyes red and swollen. Can we talk? She asked softly. I didn't look up. About what's left. About the truth. She sat across from me, wringing her hands. I can't carry it anymore. Then drop it, I said. It's already crushed everything else. She took a shaky breath. I need you to listen, Ethan, please. I nodded once. I wasn't over Daniel, she began. Even after we got married. I told myself I was, but when he called, it felt like an old wound opening. I didn't plan to see him again, it just happened. I stared at her. So you're saying it was an accident? No, she said quickly. I'm saying it was weakness. I wanted closure, but I ended up reopening everything I'd buried. I leaned forward. And you thought sleeping with him would fix it? Tears slid down her cheeks. I didn't think. I just felt angry, lost. He made me feel wanted when I thought you didn't see me anymore. I saw you every day, I said quietly. I just thought I didn't need to prove it anymore. She looked down. I know, and that's what kills me now. Then why didn't you stop before it destroyed us? I kept telling myself I could control it, she said. That I'd end it before it went too far. I laughed bitterly. You were always good at control. Until you weren't. She winced. You have every right to hate me. I don't, I said. Not anymore. That surprised her. You don't? No, hate takes energy. I'm out of that. She covered her mouth, sobbing. Daniel used me. When his business started falling apart, he stopped calling. He said I'd ruined his life. That everything was my fault. Maybe he finally told the truth. She nodded weakly. He never loved me. He just wanted to see if he could still have me. The rain grew louder. She wiped her tears. When I saw his face that day, broken and desperate, I realized what I'd thrown away. Me, I said. You, she whispered. The one person who never lied to me. I took a deep breath. So now what? You tell me you're sorry and everything resets? No, she said. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I loved you. Maybe not the right way, but I did. I looked at her for a long time. The woman crying in front of me wasn't the one who had laughed at our wedding or held my hand during sleepless nights. She was someone who'd lost everything, including herself. You didn't just lose me, Lily, I said finally. You lost the version of me that believed in love. She broke down completely, her sobs echoing through the room. Please don't say that. It's true, I said softly. You took that part of me when you chose him, she shook her head. I was blind. I thought love was excitement, not peace. But now I see it was you all along. I closed my eyes, and now it's too late. She reached out, her fingers trembling. Can we start over someday? No, I whispered. But I hope you find someone who doesn't have to forgive you first. She nodded, tears still falling. You're colder now. I have to be, I said. It's the only way I survive this. For a while, neither of us spoke. The sound of rain became the only voice in the room. Finally, she stood. I'll stay at my sister's for a while. Okay. She hesitated. Will you be okay? I already wasn't, I said. So this won't hurt much more. She took one last look at me before walking to the door. Her voice cracked. I wish you'd yell or curse me something. I've yelled enough in my head, I said. Silence feels better. When the door closed, I exhaled slowly. The house felt lighter but emptier, like it was breathing for the first time after holding its breath too long. I stood by the window, watching her car disappear into the rain. My reflection stared back, tired, hollow, but free. For the first time since everything began, I didn't feel rage or sorrow. Just a strange, quiet pity, and as the storm faded, I whispered, Goodbye, Lily. Then I turned off the lights and let the darkness finally take me. The restaurant hadn't changed. Same soft jazz, same faint smell of rosemary and wine. Even the waiter at the door looked familiar, though I doubted he remembered me. A year can erase faces faster than memories. I walked to the corner table, the one where it all began, and sat down. The seat across from me was empty like it should be. I loosened my tie and placed the envelope on the table. Inside were the divorce papers Lily had mailed last week. I'd kept them untouched until tonight. The waiter approached politely. "Good evening, sir. Just one tonight?" I smiled faintly. "Just one." He nodded and handed me the menu. I didn't open it. I already knew what I wanted. "Whiskey sour," I said. "2 ice cubes." "Of course." When he left, I leaned back, looking at the spot where Lily once sat, laughing, teasing, pretending nothing was broken. I could almost hear her voice again. "You're too serious, Ethan." "And you're too loud," I'd said that night, smiling. "That's why we work," I let out a quiet chuckle. "No, that's why we didn't." The waiter returned with the drink. I took a sip, same sharp burn, same bitter sweetness. Strange how something painful can taste comforting once you survive it. The envelope waited in front of me like a quiet dare. I pulled out the papers, signed where my name belonged, and pressed my thumb against the page. The ink looked final. "Done?" a voice said behind me. I turned. Maya stood there, coat draped over one arm, smiling softly. "You look like a man who just ended a chapter." "I guess I did," I said. "How'd you find me?" "You're predictable," she said, sliding into the seat across from me. "You always come here when you need to close something." I nodded. "Old habits die harder than old loves." She tilted her head. "And which one was this?" "Maybe both." The waiter came again. "For the lady?" "Red wine," she said. Then, glancing at me, "Make it 2 glasses." When he left, she looked at the envelope. "Is that it? After everything?" "That's it. No dramatic goodbye? No second thoughts?" "I had a year of second thoughts," I said. "They've all expired." She smiled faintly. "You look lighter." "Forgiveness will do that to a man." "Did you forgive her?" "Eventually," I said. "But not for her sake." She leaned forward. "For yours?" "For mine," I said. "Maybe forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about dropping the rope before it strangles you." Maya smiled softly. "That sounds like something you'd write in one of your journals." I laughed. "Maybe I will." For a while, we sat in silence. The music shifted to something slower, softer. The world outside the window glowed with rain reflections. I looked around and realized I didn't feel haunted anymore. "I heard Daniel's company folded," Maya said quietly. "It did. He moved abroad. Haven't heard from him since. And Lily? She teaches art part-time. Keeps to herself. I think she's finally trying to live quietly." Maya stirred her wine. "You don't sound angry." "I'm not," I said. "I think we both paid our prices." Hers was regret. Mine was healing, she nodded. "And now?" "Now," I said, raising my glass, "I'm done counting debts." We clinked glasses. For the first time in a long while, I actually tasted the drink instead of just swallowing it. "Do you ever miss her?" Maya asked. "Sometimes," I admitted. "Not her exactly, just who I was when I still believed everything would last." "That version of you wasn't smarter," she said. "Just softer." "Maybe I needed both," she smiled. "You sound ready to start over." "Maybe," I said. "But not to replace what I lost. Just to remember what I still have." She raised her glass again. "To new beginnings." "To peace," I said. We drank in silence. The rain outside had slowed to a drizzle. I felt a strange calm settle in my chest, the kind that comes when there's nothing left to fix. Maya glanced at the signed papers. "You should mail those." "I will," I said. "Tomorrow. Not tonight. Tonight's for remembering. Tomorrow's for moving on." She nodded approvingly. "That sounds like the Ethan I knew before everything went dark." I smiled. "He's been gone a while." "Maybe not gone," she said softly. "Just waiting for you to forgive yourself." That line hit deeper than I expected. I stared at my reflection in the glass, same face, different eyes. "Maybe you're right," I said. "Maybe that's the only forgiveness that matters." The waiter approached again. "Another drink, sir?" I shook my head. "No, this one's enough." As he left, Maya placed her hand over mine. "You finally let it go," she whispered. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, maybe forgiveness isn't about them. It's about me finally walking away." We sat there until the lights dimmed and the restaurant began to close. The rain stopped completely, and for once the silence outside didn't sound lonely. It sounded earned. When we stepped out into the cool night, I looked back at the restaurant one last time. The window reflected us side by side, and for the first time I didn't see ghosts, just two people still standing, and that was enough.